learn from me. Let me just tell you how it is and what you need to do to fix it.
Welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad you're here. You guys, that clip at the beginning is a throwback to season 3 when Mary wanted to help Christine have a better relationship with Cody because Mary thought her and Cody were in a good place and that she had moved past all of the issues they have. Of course, hindsight is 20/20 and we all know it wasn't that simple. It would just be a few seasons later that Mary was involved with the catfishing scandal. So I wanted to throw that in there because we're going back to season 3 today. When I was making the video about the Nacho story and Christine, I was trying to dig back and find the tell-alls, and I really had a difficult time doing it. But I was actually able to find links, like broken links, to the videos. And what would happen was there were all the comments there. So there was no video, but there was all of the comments left about it. And I started clicking through them and I realized, my opinions have changed dramatically from when I first watched the show. They really had pulled the wool over my eyes in the beginning. And it wasn't that I didn't see that there were issues. You could tell watching the show there were problems with these relationships. But for me, I just chalked it all up to the fact that they were polygamist and this was normal. I assumed that the feelings they had were just a part of choosing the lifestyle they chose and they were adults and if they wanted to leave, they would, right? But this is one of those things where you get a little bit more life experience and you realize nothing is that simple. Leaving isn't that simple. Having decisions made based on your faith, that's not simple. I realize now there's just more to it. And there's also more to what was going on there. It didn't have to be that way. They didn't have to feel those things. That wasn't normal. They weren't happy. And I really thought, okay, they are. Because, again, they would leave. That was my thought at the time, or the way I was thinking. That has changed. But what I realized reading the comments on Facebook was that, in my youthfulness or in my in my earlier life, I couldn't see that. But other people were able to see right through it. Like older people or people with more life experience or more understanding of relationships weren't fooled by what Cody Brown and those women were doing during the first few seasons. So I thought it would be interesting to go back and look at some of the comments that were posted 10 years ago after the tell-all that included the Nacho story and talking about stuff from the book. So that is what we're going to do today. Let's go back and read some of those comments. I just want to remind you before I get started, though, where they were at in season 3. They were in Vegas. They were not living at the cul-de-sac yet. Robyn was pregnant. There were definitely a lot of issues with the teenagers. There was some anger about having to move. Christine and Cody were having problems. I feel like you could really see the tension between the wives. And, the book had been released, so everyone was able to read about it as well. Yeah, that's where they were at. They were trying to move. They didn't like living at the separate locations in Vegas. And that is what this first comment is about. The comment says, obviously one big house would be the answer, just like they had in Utah. But seriously, those women do not want to live together. It was obvious all along to me. Cody outdid himself in arrogance and childishness during the interview. I'm sure they are all going to continue this farce as it's obviously very profitable money-wise. They will all be in separate houses, living their separate lives, and coming together for the written script for the show. Perfect arrangement, pretend to be together, rake in the money, get rich, and then someday take the money and run. I seriously doubt any of them are even on speaking terms in real life after watching that interview. Man, that comment 10 years ago, that person was on to what was happening. They do end up living those separate lives in separate houses, and we find out in the end they just weren't as close as they were trying to let on in season 1. Yeah, for me, I just assumed it was sort of like the ebbs and flows, of life. They were having a time they weren't getting along, and then maybe they would. I assumed in the end, though, it was really going to all come together in one house. But, as you watch the show a little more, you realize that's not going to happen. And this person knew. They were able to predict what the future was going to be like for the Brown family. Yeah, again, they pulled the wool over my eyes. I really, in those first few seasons, thought they were going to be able to just make it work. The next comment here, and remember these are all from 10 years ago, says the most important thing I got out of it is that these women are leading mostly miserable, insecure lives, which is not to say if you only have one husband it can't be the same way, and that the dude is clueless. He mostly thinks things are good with the women when they're clearly not, and he's very critical of them, which makes me feel sad for them. You know what? I will say this, when I watched in the beginning, I thought Cody tried. At least that's what I thought at the time. I thought he tried to understand what the wives were feeling and what they were going through. Of course, as time went on, we see less and less of that. In this comment though, and again, these were from 10 years ago after the tell-all for season 3, this comment, they used the word clueless. I wonder if they would still choose to use that word, because that is not the word I use. I just think he's insensitive. And as long as Cody's happy, it doesn't matter if anyone else is really happy. And if he does act like he cares, it's just because he wants to come off as a good person. I don't think it's genuine concern or compassion or caring for the people in his life. So I wonder if this person would still use the word clueless, because I don't think he's clueless. I just think he does not care about other people. But again, 10 years ago, I don't know that I would have said the things that people are saying here. I think I was fooled. I thought, this is just a different lifestyle I don't understand. But now, of course, we all know better, right? Okay, so this next comment is short and to the point, but this person was literally saying 10 years ago what we're all saying now and have been saying the last few years. This comment says, I think Cody looked the fool he is. He was narcissistic and insensitive. I always felt that about him. I felt for all the wives and wonder why they stay. He obviously only loves Robyn. What a shame. Yep, that sounds like a comment that would have came after any one of this season 10 episodes, or season 17 episodes. Those are the comments on the videos that I make. You know what? This person was just on it. They knew exactly what Cody was like and what he was up to. And I will say this, watching those earlier seasons, he's clearly smitten with Robyn. He really likes her. But again, I personally thought that was just like, you know what, if you're polygamist and a new wife comes along, I imagine that's what it's like, right? People date and they have honeymoon phases. You date someone and you get married and everything's perfect in the beginning and you're smitten and so in love, and it kind of starts to fizzle out. So I just thought, okay, that's what a polygamous wife has to deal with, and that it is what it is. I didn't expect Cody to go on and do this forever. I didn't think it would go on for years and years and years. I thought he would eventually, everything would level out. It would become equal again. Everyone would have kind of their place in their relationship with him, and it would all be equal. But this person was on it. This comment could have been copied and pasted, last season of the show, and it would have been the exact same. So I'm putting this next comment in here because the beginning of it actually made me laugh when I read it. It says, I have to be honest, I think that they are all strong women except for Robyn and her crying. Geesh, sorry, just gets annoying. So I'm going to stop there. Nothing's changed. All these seasons, she is still crying, or some of you say she's pretending to cry. I don't know if she's pretending or if it's real. I don't know, but she's still crying. She's still trying to make it appear that she's crying, right? So nothing's changed. Now, the rest of the comment says, no one knows what anyone goes through, and I am sure it's not all roses and sunshine. These women opened up. Shame on those judging Mary and her actions. We don't know the whole story. They even said they couldn't remember what the fight leading to Janelle leaving was. Janelle doesn't seem like the easiest person to have to get along with either. So I think before you cast the first stone, especially on a reality TV show, you should look at your own decisions in your real lives. Sure, no one has been perfect to every human being you have ever met. So what they're talking about at the end is the whole situation, and it's in the book, is where Mary left after Janelle left after there was a fight that involved Mary. And really, I think what they're talking about is, there was a lot of history with Mary and Janelle, and it was put in that book and then brought up in the tell-all. And a lot of people were kind of attacking Mary in the comments on Facebook. And so this person was sort of sticking up for her. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say. When I was going back to rewatch and what I could find of the tell-all, I couldn't find the whole thing. There are some scenes where Janelle seems a little harsh. I've kind of forgotten that part of Janelle. Like in the beginning, she didn't always come off really kindly. I think Janelle is one of those people that as time has went on, she seems a bit warmer and she's much more likable. But there were some moments where, Janelle didn't come off the best either. So that is what this commenter is talking about. But I love the beginning. They're all strong women except for Robyn and Oliver crying. I'm like, yeah, we're still talking about that all these years later. I'm sticking with a bit of a theme here. It's another comment that involves Robyn crying. And it also involves Mary and her fertility issues. So 10 years ago, someone wrote this. Just watch Robyn crying yet again to Mary about the joy of children. How she wouldn't have nice things if she had a little child who decided to carve his name in her furniture. Give me a break. Why rub salt in a wound, Robyn? Don't you think Mary would give all of it up to have another child? Nobody needed your tears and drama. I think Mary already knows what she missed out on. She doesn't need you to remind her of it. I agree with this comment here. Just the whole thing with Mary and her having fertility issues. I think there's a part of me that really had a soft spot for Mary because of this. I always felt like, what a sad feeling to not be able to have children when you want to. Like, that's it, one whole thing. And then add all of these other women coming along and having children with your husband. And, even being the first wife, but not having the first child. Those little things, over time, they're going to really get to you. I mean, let's get real, not even over time. They're just going to get to you when they're happening. And then Robyn making a comment like this, how ridiculous. Come on, Robyn. Are you kidding me? And I don't know, maybe in the moment Robyn just wasn't thinking, and that's what I'm guessing. She probably wasn't thinking when she said it, how it might come across, but I just thought this comment was, I agree with this comment, but also mentioning the crying yet again, I had to throw it in there. People were really noticing Robyn crying, and again, I just didn't. I watched the show, and I didn't think anything was unusual about it. Was anyone else like that? You feel like in the beginning, you didn't notice those things, but it took you longer than other people. In the beginning, I really didn't think a lot of it. I just thought, okay, she cries a lot. I didn't see it as any sort of tactic for manipulation or that it was fake tears or no tears. I didn't think that at all, but obviously everyone else was already on it. I wanted to throw this last comment in because I thought this person was really in tune with who Janelle was from the beginning. It says, Janelle, get out. You are such an intelligent woman. You do not need this. You are constantly trying to find a way to make everything work for everyone else when you know the answer yourself. You can do this yourself. You got the brains. You just proved it by passing your exam on the first shot. Cody is not giving you enough credit. He talks about it being business with you. Logan got it together, but look at Hunter. He's had it. You do not need a man right now. Be empowered. Right now, if you wanted out, do you know how many women just on Facebook that would help you? Keep up the good work at the gym. Do you really think buying 4 large houses is the answer? You know it's not going to work out. That comment was just packed with different thoughts and was a bit all over the place. But you know what? It was right. It was totally right about Janelle. She was very capable of being independent and doing things on her own. We see she's very independent in her relationship with Cody. But this comment makes the point of saying he talks about it being business with you. And I think what they're trying to say is it was almost like it wasn't a romantic relationship. It was business. And Janelle could just do this on her own. She doesn't really need Cody. And also, do you really think buying 4 large houses is the answer? It's not going to work out. Yeah, I've said this again and again. It was not going to work out, even though the wives wanted it. To me, that was an indicator that the relationship and the marriages weren't working. The fact that they couldn't all live together, polygamy wasn't working for them. That's my perspective on that. I know I've had some people disagree in the comments. There was just no way they were all going to feel unified, if they were all living in separate homes. But this commenter, I just think, nailed it when it came to Janelle. So let me know in the comments if you were like me and they were able to sort of pull the wool over your eyes a little bit. You know, I didn't think it was perfect, but I thought it was how polygamists were. So I just thought they would stay together forever living that way. Yeah, let me know in the comments. And also, if there's any other like specific videos from sister wives I should go back and like do another comment video, let me know. Like if there was any moments where people got really heated and I should go find the comments on that, just leave a comment below about when that was. Otherwise, that is all for this video. I hope you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you come back to Happily Ever Reality.